welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline. This is a live TV show. No way would we ever rebroadcast this one. We got John the Tiger on our camera. Thank you. Thanks to Dave Cable for letting us do another live TV show in Bethel Park on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks to all our fans in Bethel Park. Appreciate that. Great feedback every week, guys, so keep doing what you're doing. Oh, I shouldn't have said that out loud. Maybe don't do exactly what you're doing. Verizon 32 everywhere from Nemacolin to Cranberry and Wexford. We've even had some guests up there in Butler. They said no, they can't watch us, so only up to that Wexford and Cranberry area. We appreciate it. I have a smartphone, but I'm not checking my likes. The last I saw it was, and I appreciate it, 4,769 likes. So that's just awesome. We appreciate it all. Keep watching. And for the 4 people in Munhall, when you get to watch this, like Thursday.
It's down to like 3.
Okay, well, it's down to 3 because Zach hasn't watched it yet, ever. So we understand. That's just how it goes. But we'll still promote it out there on YouTube. Thanks for watching us on TV, though. We do appreciate that. So anybody with Verizon is watching it everywhere. There's thousands of people. That's what I hear at each community. Smoking Jim and I go, Zach goes, and they know who we are. So we appreciate it. Now, I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. We got Chip the Prophet Hayner, Smoking Jim Frazier, and Zach Brenner. I think he's going by Little Z, Amish Assassin, maybe a couple others. So just stay tuned to hear what happens. We start our show off with what's on our mind. But before we do that, I need a close-up here. John, I got to make you work. I just had 2 of the best pizza cuts today. Joe did it tonight. He made the pizza, said it would be one of the best. 412-831-1900. Now, if you watch this show on a rebroadcast, tomorrow, Wednesday, the 26th, is the last day for the Olive Oil's Pizzeria $1.99 pizza specials. Smoking Jim's been buying them every time he comes out this way, so that's once a week. And he does stock up. He buys 2, which that's only on the ride home. So maybe you should pick up 2 more. 412-831-1900. You could call in, on a little break that we may have. So we appreciate that, and we're going to start with what's on your mind. Zach Brenner, what is on your mind?
Good evening, folks. I can't really tell you what's really on my mind, but I was thinking about Smoking Jim got a Dunkin' Donuts. He got pizzas for $1.99, and he goes to Bethel Bakery. I'm starting to worry about my friend over here, but he's getting a little diabetes, maybe. What's really on my mind, there won't be any Fall Guys tonight for this performance in this group, but I will tell you this. I am very concerned with the Steelers center, Marquise Pouncey, and his ability to not stay healthy, and he's been injury-plagued. I was listening to an old broadcast of a Smoking Jim radio clip, and he was talking about Brittle Brothers, and you would now have to list Pouncey right up there as one of the most brittle brothers on the team. Maybe it's bad luck. Maybe it's that he's so good and he gets to the second level so often that he puts himself in a position to constantly get rolled up on and fell into. But I'm very concerned with our center. They brought back Doug Legursky to try to add a little depth to the center position. I don't know if he's a stopgap measure, Smoking Jim, but hopefully we don't have any further injuries on the offensive line, which leads me to preseason football games and how meaningless they truly are. I don't truly believe.
Another member of my club.
I don't truly believe that they're ultimately super meaningless, Smoking Jim, but there is a little bit of validity to them as far as I'm a huge fan of position battles. Nobody really likes position battles. I'm a huge fan. I love watching and seeing guys that aren't going to make the team. You got Chidi Wilmas. You got guys that are just trying to play special teams, just trying to make it into the National Football League. And those are the kind of guys that I want on my team that are going to play every down, even in the preseason, and try to take a guy's head off, like Terrell Suggs tried to take out an injured quarterback for Bradford for the Eagles.
Terrell Suggs is not going to make the team?
No, he's going to get suspended for one preseason game.
Yeah. I thought he was a starter. Chip, I must have missed that because I don't watch those practice games.
The more concerning part about the preseason game, Smoking Jim, and the reason why they're probably ultimately not going to do away with them is because of the monetary value in these preseason games and the fact that a lot of people that would ultimately not be able to afford to go to a Steeler game find a way to get a ticket to a preseason game and come in and get to enjoy the stadium and the view and everything that comes with it. So that's why I truly believe that they won't be done away with, not because injuries continue to happen, but because there's so much value in it to the owners and to the NFL that Goodell is not going to do anything about it, and that's what's on my mind.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
Well, just to kind of speak to that, as long as the owners are getting full ticket price for preseason games and forcing the season ticket holders to buy them, that you're going to keep on playing.
Steelers put $7 million in their pocket this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
As well they should. They own the Steelers. And we all drink the Kool-Aid. I'll have another glass. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the Taco Machine. And if you want the green, you got to see Levine.
Hold it, I'm wearing the green. Thanks to Zach Brenner.
My old quarterback option days back at you. But this may not be a popular what's on your mind. But
I already know. Hold it. Wait, I'm a little bit psychic. Okay, number 7.
This is how I feel. No, that's not it. But you were close, Al Levine, the Taco Machine. But everybody that knows me knows that I believe that football players are a piece of meat. You're there for my entertainment. Listen, football players are out there that are watching this right now. Appreciate when you're healthy and the opportunities that you have, because once you get hurt, it keeps going on. I love Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson's an outstanding player, but let me just run off some of the players that, now he got hurt, he tore his ACL and never even got hit. So football, you can get hurt at any time. But let me run off a list of names of some of the great wide receivers in recent Green Bay Packer history, and I'll let you know why Jordy Nelson will never get his job back. Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, unheard of in Minnesota Vikings. Now, Robert Brooks, Antonio Freeman was a great one. Sterling Sharp, one of the best that ever played the game. Perry Kemp, John Jefferson, James Lofton, Donald Driver. Now, Randy Moss was probably the highest rated wide receiver I ever rated. And the guy that I rated almost as high as Randy Moss happens to play for the Green Bay Packers. His name is Jeff Janis. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. This is a guy that played for Saginaw Valley University, runs a 4.3 40 with a 40-inch vertical jump, and did 20 reps at 225 pounds at the combine. He's going into his second year at Green Bay. The only knock against him is he drops a little bit too many passes for a white receiver. But if you're a fantasy, he drops a little bit too many passes for a white receiver. But anybody that's playing fantasy football right now, I will guarantee that this is the next NFL superstar. By midseason, you won't even remember Jordy Nelson's name. Pick up Jeff Janis from the Green Bay Packers, and that's what's on my mind.
And that's our NFL scout. I thought he mispronounced wide. So I stand corrected. Pay attention.
Hey, a couple of years ago, Jim told me about T.Y. Hilton.
Thank you, sir.
My man
Thank you, sir.
knows what he speaks about.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It's just the only problem we have, just a little sidebar here. We can't find out anything about the Steelers. My man doesn't have any information there. And he talks about how...
We keep going back to Antonio Brown and Ike Taylor.
Yeah. Well, at least he did that. So he's not a one-hit wonder. He's not a one-hit wonder, even though he gave up his Steelers season tickets now. But Chip, we better find out what's on your mind.
Oh, thank you, Alan, and good evening, everybody. I kind of want to leave my what's on my mind so that we can leave our segments intact for later in the show. So, I've listening to several different things that I've heard repeated and some incidences that have happened, and I think that it's about time that the people that report on sporting activities and the people that are in charge of coaching sporting activities should be held to even a higher standard than we are holding the athletes to. And a couple of people that I would like to bring up that have made complete fools of themselves and I don't think should have a job in broadcasting at this point. One of them would be Cris Carter. Former Minnesota Vikings wide receiver, makes some foolish comments. Well, they asked him to speak to the rookie class so he could try to impart his wisdom on these young, impressionable, soon-to-be millionaires, and why they would let him have that kind of a forum to spout that kind of stuff. I'm not even going to repeat it. It's beyond my comprehension. But here's the thing: is that nobody really thought it was a problem because the NFL left that video clip up for over a year until it was reported on Sunday. Point. So the NFL is just as guilty as Cris Carter is for being an idiot. And I think that they should hold themselves to a higher standard instead of nitpicking about every little thing the players do. The next one up, in my beloved sport of baseball, Curt Schilling was the ESPN commentator, was here Sunday night, and he seemed to be stuck on this thing that he felt that the Pirates were stealing the Giants' signals.
Really?
Okay? And he went on and on about it, and nothing could have been further from the truth, and I just don't think he really had anything intelligent to say. And, he went on and on, but then he went and stuck his foot in it real good today. He put out a tweet where he likened Muslims to Nazi Germany. And then immediately
where's he going?
He removed that tweet almost immediately and apologized. But how is this guy getting a forum to put this kind of garbage out nationwide? ESPN, if you're smart, axe him right now. Don't give him a second chance. Now, the third and class of idiots for today would happen to be the head coach of the USC Trojans, Steve Sarkisian. Steve Sarkisian, this just blows me away. This is the head coach of a major university, one of the top universities in the country, one that should vie for the national championship. Well, he goes to a dinner, that has nothing but high-powered boosters, and parents of students, and talking about the team, and he gets drunk on his hind end and just is staggering around, blurting all this stuff. So finally, the athletic director grabbed him, sat him down, and straightened him out. And then he said, "Well, sometimes when you mix booze and medication, you get a negative result. And I don't think I really have a problem, but I'm gonna go seek help. I think you need a lot more help than you can seek from a doctor. I think what Pat Hayden should do, he ought to look for a new head coach. Because if you're that stupid to be that much of a drunken fool in front of the boosters that pay for your program, I don't know what I can say for you. But those are the kind of things that are on my mind. And then you wonder why the athletes act like fools."
Yeah.
Al Levine, the talking machine. Did Curt Schilling's Twitter get hacked in by Mendenhall?
No. That's all I was talking, buddy. They might scratch that.
I wasn't sure. I'm asking a question.
You don't even know what Twitter is. So I'll send you a tweet right now. Tweet. What's on? Well, go ahead.
No, and I can't wait to see if they, if Curt Schilling even keeps his job, because there's got to be public outcry from that. I heard it and I was like, how can anybody be so stupid? I just don't see.
That's obviously they don't hear what they're saying and they don't care.
He mixed booze and medication.
No, that's the head coach of USC.
Smoking Jim, you got to listen. I listened to the whiteout that you didn't
booze
say.
and medication. Sometimes you have negative results.
Try to listen here. All right, one of our biggest fans, Chip, she gave me an article, and I knew you probably read it, so I didn't bring it. It was about the gunner and his bloops. It was in the Sunday paper. If you want it, I do have it.
All right.
I have it in an envelope, not with me tonight.
I was
out and about. Well, you're not going to read it. So she gave me that article. It was a great article about a lady wrote in that she just enjoyed, and it was in the Post-Gazette. It was a great article that, about Bob Prince and how she enjoyed listening to him call a game when she was young and as she grew up. And I have the same memories. A bloop and a blast.
It's a bloop and a blast. Bob Prince just had a way of bringing the game into your living room.
Exactly, and into my little crystal radio when we could bring it to school when they were in the playoffs and stuff. So there's a lot of other good things if anybody has those type of memories. Hey, why are we still doing a wide shot? Oh, okay. Because I got this nice green shirt.
Yes, sir.
Look at that. Oh, you're not on me there. It's over there. Tiger's trying to confuse me.
He getting credit.
He not trying. He did.
Which camera is it now? Then what are you doing close up on me there? Okay, now we're good. We didn't do a promo here. Right when I give him a compliment, Devin Shea, whatever you're doing, happy belated birthday. He's a year older.
All right, Devin!
And he said he's wiser, but he put an A in the next word, so we won't put that on air because there's FCC restrictions. Matt No Show Harkins showed up on Tuesday night like he does.
All right, Matt. Appreciate you.
Then we got our man Dan in there, who constantly walks by my house. So now he made it to the studio.
Wow.
So he's in the control room also. That's to give you an update. If you want to be a volunteer, right when I said we were trying to look for some, now we got 3 in there instead of 2. So we're still looking for those volunteers. If you're in Bethel Park in the community and you're around here and you go to high school, come on out to the studio. You learn how to run HD cameras. You'll be like John the Tiger Kiger here, who lives in Bethel, and he runs a camera, among other of our volunteers. It's a great job. We appreciate it. And we couldn't do the show, no matter what I say about all you guys and all those texts you give me, we could not do a show without you yet.
Thanks, Rookie of the Year.
Yet. That was a couple years ago. He wasn't Rookie of the Year. We're still debating that, but never let the facts of Smoking Jim get in the way of his opinions. The other thing I got to bring up is, Renee, you're the star of our show on my opening segment. She's our biggest fan in the Market District. She has dozens of people. Dave Justy, who doesn't watch the show, even though he told me he did, he comes up yelling at Renee that he needs some help. And Renee helps him because she's a good employee. So she had to take a little break to get me another article. And I heard guys talking at the fight the other day, MMA fight, about Jimmy Cvetic writing an article. And it made the paper. And it's one of the craziest articles. I can't even bring it because it talks about, he was an undercover detective, and he talks about a whore jumping on his back and beating him, and then her pimp or whatever, he's trying to bite the nose off, and he wrote like a whole article
That's
about
good
it.
poetry.
No, there was no poetry in it. That's why
I thought that was in a movie, Chip. Wasn't that like Tommy Boy or somebody got their nose bit off?
Yeah, but his stories are true. And Tommy Boy stole his story like they've stolen other boxer stories because he's a well-known poet. He's actually written poetry and done it. But this one, I don't know what happened to Jimmy Cvetic there. But this article, I couldn't believe it was in the Post-Gazette. Renee, thanks for the articles. I do read them, and I didn't bring them tonight because only 1 out of my 3 co-hosts will read. And that's how it goes. So I appreciate it. Thanks for the what's on your mind. My thing is, go Steelers, go Buccos. It's a great time to be a fan in Pittsburgh.
So
By the way, the Buccos are winning 1-0, top of the first.
congratulations.
You know what? I got to get that. I got to get that app. I got to get the app so I can do that. You'll have to discuss that. I'm still loading up apps.
We'll talk to you after the show.
All right. Thank you very much. Now we start going to our segments. I don't know where the camera is. Dave Cable told me that whoever's talking, they try to focus on it. For some reason, they must be showing Dan how to operate the camera tonight because John the Tiger has it set up perfectly. So try to bear with us there. And we're going to talk to Smoking Jim in a second here. And you're going to have to switch the camera to Smoking Jim because if you guys don't know, I'm going to tell you. This is Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And I'm a little upset today with my Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Everybody knows I don't like Todd Haley. And although I do talk to Todd Haley every year, about his uncle, Bob Haley, who's probably in Western Psych right now. Bob Haley was one of my college coaches, and he was a little guy, but he was tough, and he would fight anybody, anywhere. But I always say that in basketball, if a white guy can play point guard in the NBA, then a white guy should be able to play cornerback in the National Football League. But those guys are extinct because no white player is going to play cornerback in college because the NFL has discriminated against white cornerbacks. So Todd Haley took it another step because he discriminates against black quarterbacks. Todd Haley's never had a black quarterback on his roster ever. When he coached at Arizona, he had no black quarterbacks. When he on his whole roster, in college football is over 60% black quarterbacks now. When he coached at Kansas City, no black quarterbacks. He got hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers in February of 2012. And the first thing that he did in February was cut Dennis Dixon, Charlie Batch, and Byron Leftwich. He wouldn't even let the brothers get out of Black History Month. No black quarterbacks for the Steelers in 2012, none in 2013, none in 2014. The reason I'm so upset is because of what the Pittsburgh Steelers and Todd Haley did to Tajh Boyd. Tajh Boyd is an outstanding college quarterback. I didn't think that he was starting material for the National Football League, but I hate for somebody to waste somebody's dream. This guy, when he played in high school, was a two-time state champion. He was an All-American quarterback, played in the Army All-American game. Only thing he did at Clemson was throw for 107 career touchdown passes. He holds the ACC record with 38 touchdowns in one season, 12,000 career yards. He was throwing to guys like Sammy Watkins and Martavius Bryant. And I've never seen this. The Pittsburgh Steelers have always been three deep at quarterbacks. They had quarterbacks on their roster at the same time like Big Ben, Charlie Batch, Tommy Maddox, even back in the day with Cordell and Tommy Maddox and those kind of guys, Mike Tomczak, always had great quarterbacks. This was the first year, and most times the NFL only plays 4 exhibition games. This year the Pittsburgh Steelers had 5. In this exhibition game, the Hall of Fame game, no way was Big Ben even going to play. He didn't even have shoulder pads on at the beginning of the game. Bruce was already hurt, so he wasn't playing. So the only 2 quarterbacks for this basically scrimmage was Landry Jones and Tajh Boyd. And Landry Jones took every snap, didn't even give Tajh Boyd an opportunity for 1 or 2 series. And for that, I will never forgive. So that's the fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Thanks a lot for killing the kid's dream.
Thanks. Hey, and since you guys missed this Pittsburgh Sportsline hat, could you do one close-up of his hat? Okay,
black
thanks. Thanks. Because you got a black themed show tonight.
It's an Adidas hat.
I find it unusual, Smoking Jim. You're in a dark mood tonight. I don't understand. And I do have to do the disclaimer. Anybody, if you're offended by Smoking Jim's remarks, he stands by what he says until you convince him otherwise, or he's right near you, and he's a people person. He'll like you too. So just come out and see Smoking Jim. Don't worry about calling in. But, we're not even worried about that. So, Chip, let's hear some Chips trivia time.
Chips trivia time. Well, the airwaves today were being were red hot. Phones were ringing off the hook for the local radio shows because a certain former starting NFL quarterback had come to Pittsburgh for a job interview. They tried him out. They gave him a physical, and that brought to me the reason why this gentleman is so notorious. And then so I go back to August 24th in 2007.
Whoa.
Way back. It's kind of like I'm going into Jim's Wayback Machine here. But the NFL indefinitely suspends Michael Vick without pay just hours after he acknowledged in court papers that he did indeed bankroll gambling on dog fighting and helped kill some dogs not worthy of the pit. Okay? So just wanted to kind of remind everybody of the kind of man that could possibly be the backup quarterback here in Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens here in the next day or two. Now to get to some baseball trivia. I like to dig into baseball history. And I talked about this gentleman quite over the years, the last couple of years. His name is Virgil Trucks. And Virgil Trucks pitched his second no-hitter of the season on August 25th, 1952. 1-0 gem over the New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium. The Tigers committed 2 errors and Trucks walked 1 batter, struck out 8. It was the last victory of the season for Trucks, who finished the year with a 5-19 record. And he threw 2 no-hitters.
Wow. A lot of talent there.
Wow.
Yeah, so that just goes to show you, not everybody that throws a no-hitter is a winning pitcher. August 25th, 1967, Dean Chance of the Minnesota Twins pitched his second no-hitter of the month. Okay? And the way this happened, when he defeated the Indians 2-1, Chance pitched an abbreviated 5 perfect innings against Boston on August 6th for a 2-0 victory. And for those of you that don't know how the rules of baseball, you play 5 complete innings, a game can be called and considered an official game after 5 innings, whether it's called because of weather or, an act of God, darkness, or whatever that may be.
I didn't know that rule.
You're not a true baseball player.
August the 25th, 1985. 1985 was an amazing year for a certain young fireballing pitcher from the New York Mets. Somebody had he not, been bothered by his demons and started pottering his nose, could have probably been one of the greatest pitchers that ever lived. A young Dwight Gooden became the youngest pitcher ever to win 20 games with a 9-3 triumph over the San Diego Padres. Dwight Gooden, at age 20 years, 9 months, and 9 days, was 1 month younger than Bob Feller, who won 20 games in 1939. And it's such a tragic thing because Dwight Gooden, if anybody ever saw him pitch,
yes,
he was just absolutely amazing. He just, I don't know, things outside of baseball took his attention away, and it robbed him of his skills and subsequently of his career.
Rich man stroke.
Well, yeah, and he ain't so rich anymore. But, that kind of wraps up shortly, a short and abbreviated version of Chip's Trivia tonight.
Thanks.
But little tidbits.
I appreciate that.
Whatever happened to Darryl Strawberry?
Same thing.
Wasn't he hanging out with Doc Gooden on My Name Brother?
Actually, Zach, Darryl Strawberry and a guy named Eric Davis, they played in the same high school team in, I believe, Long Beach, California. They were in high school. And Eric Davis became a World Series champion, was a tremendous center fielder for the Cincinnati Reds. Actually, when the Reds won the World Series in 1990, he was responsible for knocking the Pirates out of the playoffs that year. But Strawberry and Eric Davis were 2 other immensely talented ball players that got sidetracked by drugs, and it kind of shortened their careers.
You almost cut Eric Davis's career short, didn't you?
This is off-air stuff.
Yeah, this is off-air stuff, but Eric Davis is not a person that likes me. Let's just put it to you that way.
Well, you were so kind to him. We'll move on with the extended edition of Chip's Trivia Time with a question by Zach Brenner. So, now we'll go to Zach Brenner and his Z time. Maybe not.
Braves win. Braves win.
It only got one cheap laugh from the Sandbox boys.
Hey, sometimes that's all it takes, right, Smoking Jim?
That's it.
It's the little stuff in life.
I don't even understand the point of that last night.
But I'm pretty happy to talk about what happened on Saturday night. Gladiators of the Cage, Cheswick, PA. I was fortunate enough to make it off the great waterways of the city of Pittsburgh and shoot up to the Shriners, Syrian Shriners Center for a great night.
Not so timely fashion.
A great night of cage fights. I think I only missed a couple of fights, 2 or 3. There was a couple good ones that Levine said that I missed, but for the most part, I got to see all the people that you guys who tune into the show will be familiar with. The prototype, Adam Milstead, who's a huge fan of Pittsburgh Sportsline. He won in his comeback fight. it was convincing over a guy that I don't even think belongs in the cage. That fruitcake with the green hair. But on to the main event, which was Wilkins. And I gotta tell you, I mean, Smoking Jim and Al Levine, I mean, the blood that was gushing out of Wilkins, and he just kept fighting, and he, you know, the heart that he showed, Smoking Jim was absolutely unbelievable to just continue to just keep fighting, and he was leaking pretty bad, and they let it go the distance, and he lost the decision. I look for Mike Wilkins to come back with a fury. He's a beast in the cage. Melissa Gastick won the championship at 135 pounds for amateurs for gladiators of the cage. So now the focus shifts, Smoking Jim, to we got Pinnacle coming up this Saturday night at the Isoplex at South Point. So I'm pretty excited for that, as well as I'm sure Al Levine is.
Oh yeah, it's so close to my house. It's always a great time there. But thanks for bringing me into that.
But the last thing on Z-Time is we had a couple tragedies that happened in the last 48 to 72 hours. An IndyCar driver was killed when a debris hit him in his head, and also a member of Team Solca, Carl, we called him Pasquale, died this morning, and I just want to give thoughts and prayers to their family and to Cody. You know, we lost Ron a couple years ago. That was a great guy in the corner for Team Solca, and then to lose Pasquale. At least the silver lining of it is for both of them, Ron got to be a part of when we won the first belt. You guys were there, Al Levine and Smoking Jim Frazier, when Rod won the first belt. It was an NABF belt in Elizabeth at court time. Ron was there, and then, you know, he passed a little while later, and Carl got to be there at the Meadows for Rod's last fight, and he got to walk in and carry the belt in, and he always wanted to do that, and he got to do it. So just want to, you know, make mention of those two losses that were sustained, and that's Z-Time.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it. I'm trying to figure out apps, but I'm not 4G in here. Thanks, Chip. I don't know what happened.
Oh, harassing.
I know. They're usually good everywhere. I can't do a commercial there.
When you're in this room, you're not getting much of a signal.
I got 3G, but that's another story. All right. Sorry, folks. I wouldn't normally talk about this, but, you know, we got a smartphone. On Location was one of our better shows, if not the best show we've had, with interviews and people there, nice crowd. It was our last show at Duke's. No, it's not our last show at Pittsburgh Sportsline. I just met with a couple people today that have bars and restaurants, so we'll be going to a new location September 14th, so stay tuned to that. Our highlight guest, Smoking Jim didn't once say he was our featured guest, because I don't know what happened. He wasn't a sweetie or anything, and Smoking Jim doesn't know baseball. One of the funniest things was coming up, and I go, Sid Bream's there, and he goes, where? Now, Sid Bream is one of the most recognizable guys in Pittsburgh, not only when he played here. So I introduced him to his wife, Michelle, and Sid, just a first-class act.
Yes,
just
sir.
A great gentleman.
Yes, he is.
A true sports hero that you could follow. He's a good man. He also does speaking, you know, for other people to motivate others. He's raised 4 kids. So just a great guy. I hardly even talked about the so-called curse because I never believed it was a Sid Bream curse.
It's still on.
No, it's off. It's definitely off because it wasn't on. But the non-baseball fans, they just are jumping on a bandwagon that's not there. And Sid took it in great stride, and he can give it as much as he can take it. So I appreciate that. And we had a great time with them. You have to watch the video when it comes up. Now, Dave Cable was off today, and I heard he was doing landscaping, so we'll find out what happens if he's able to hit the keyboard and do that editing. So,
taking Chip's job.
And Zach. So he was doing that because he had a day off.
His body will be hurting, Chip. You know that.
Well, I won't even say what he was moving there. But it was tons of stuff. But that's thanks to Dave Cable. So hopefully the video will be up, you know, like it always is on Wednesday, and it'll be on TV for sure. He always makes sure of that. So you'll enjoy that. Then we had another guy J.C. Smith. Now, he's a coach. He does horse racing, from different events and fundraisers. And then here's the odd thing about him. Smoking Jim and I met him out at South Point, 1,400 apartments with Don Hoder. And I told him I had a TV show, and he thought it was a radio show. So, and then, even though he had these negative things like a radio show, doing horse racing, it's not live, he played for Oakland, the Oakland Raiders in the 70s.
Yes, sir.
Then, even worse, you cannot believe where he was born. Cleveland.
Ooh.
So I let him on the show. And not only is he a great guy also, except for one thing, he wants to out-talk me, and that's not happening.
He tried.
He did try. He's a speaker, and I did what I do well was I interrupted him and threw him off his game, and he thought I'm focused on what we needed to do. Chip knows how that goes.
One of my favorite guests of the night was a great friend of Al Levine's dad, Tiptoe Levine, Coach Carmack. Man, the stories that Coach Carmack told last night was a great way to.
Well, they're classics. He even went back to Billy Kahn, the original Pittsburgh kid. Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to tease you with that, but he gave him some great insights, and it's about his weight, not about why he has like Pat was saying, a stubborn Irishman, because Pat's Irish, in case you didn't know. He talked about his weight, what he actually weighed, so stay tuned for that. Pat was great. He told us 3 stories, but then he threw a bonus one, 4 stories. So it's just great to have him there. Him and my dad were very close friends and used to hang out at that Duke's Rib House and Grill. So he was sorry to hear that we're not going to be back either, but that's how things work in business, so we appreciate it. Then we have a young man who is doing a senior project. John, you can get this one. Oh, John the Tiger's in the game right now. You can get a close-up on that. I'll hide behind it so you're not. Hoops and Hearts. 3-on-3 basketball at South Park, September 12th.
$120 a team.
And that's all it is. It goes to the American Heart Association. It's a great plan, great idea. If you see those 2 signs in my yard, I'm not cutting my grass until he gets a full tournament.
Oh, man. But the season's almost
growing, huh?
I was waiting for one of my guys to cut yards. I haven't cut the yard in 3 weeks.
I may sign up to get my participation trophy.
Oh, you're not in the age limit.
Let me just tell you this.
Keep it away from Debo. He's going to take it from you.
Since you can't trust Smoking Jim on any facts, he's going for the laughs. Another disclaimer. He doesn't mean what he says in private. There's no way. Steven talked about no participation trophies. So how can you say that on Hope and Hearts? I don't even understand how you do it. That wasn't even a cheap laugh. You got Zach to chuckle a little bit, and he wasn't going to smile. But On Location was just great. We are looking at a couple places. Stay tuned. I will announce it up on Facebook. Some of our friends, like Bonnie, who traveled all the way from Murraysville, Smoking Jim.
Yes, sir.
And she brought her friend Diane and her son, Diane's son Charlie. He was the quietest person in the whole place. So he's not welcome back. We do like people to participate. And I'm just kidding. He was a very nice young man. Then my sister Joy showed up late to the party because she's a busy one. And she just enjoys Pat because once in a while they have a cocktail together talking about my dad and old times like that. So she was there too. So it was just a great night, and we had a great run there at Duke's Rib House and Grill, and we'll find another place now. So we're looking. Take care, and we're going to move on with this. We got some segments. Since there's been a lack of Bucko talk, I wanted to bring that up first with the Bucks. 27 games over 500.
Wow.
This is unbelievable.
Pirates.
And you got people, one second, you got people. I happened to turn into the fan for about 30, 40 seconds, and Ron Cook went crazy.
On the first 2 callers.
And it was just, I'll let Chip go into that because I listen to the fan sporadically, and I'll talk about Steelers when I did listen to the fan for a minute or two about some guy from Homestead named Charlie Batch made a comment about how many preseason games they should have. So we'll talk about that too. But yeah, Chip, I was just smiling from ear to ear. If you're looking for negativity, this was the perfect 2 callers. And Ron Cook, It's rare that I say this. He handled it well.
You know, here's the thing. For 20 years, people cried, moaned, complained. The Pirates don't want to win. They don't want to put a quality team on the field. Well, all of those myths have been dispelled, and right now the Pirates have one of the best teams in Major League Baseball. We're 27 games over 500. The first two callers had nothing better to do than to criticize the Pirates for their performance this year. Ron Cook took absolute exception with both of them, hung up on both of them.
No prisoners.
And went up one side and down the other side of them because, I mean, say what you want about the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're doing a lot of things right. This summer has been an absolute joy. The next 5 weeks, I am really looking forward to what's going to happen. We were playing in the best division in baseball. You got the Cardinals, you got the Pirates, you got the Cubs, all of them with over 70 wins, and it's wide open. The Pirates are within striking distance of first place in the division, and I still believe the Pirates are going to win the division, and there's a trophy coming to Pittsburgh this October. You heard it here.
Well, Chip, the only thing I'll buy in now is after seeing 3/4 of the season, you usually have losing streaks. 5 games, 7 games. St. Louis is not.
St. Louis's longest losing streak this year was 4 games.
That's my point.
And Pirates' longest losing streak this year was 5 games.
Really?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Oh, you guys went crazy.
I'm sure you were shoveling the dirt in on top of him as it was happening, Jim.
He forgets. He has memory issues.
But, so here's what we got going on with the Pirates right now. Right now, all of the moves that were made at the trade deadline, which a certain friend of mine criticized, are working out very, very well. Jay Happ has pitched 3 games. His first game was a little bit rough. They sat him down for a free turn in the cycle. One missed start.
I taped that.
And Ray Searage worked with him. They worked on his release point, and now they've got the ball coming in a downward angle, and all his pitches are playing much better. He's won the last 2 games he's pitched, which works out real well for us because at this point Jeff Locke is struggling.
He should go past 4
Do
innings.
you think a pitching coach can make it that quick? Like a guy's been around for a couple weeks, and now they're just they could just.
Yes. See, to answer your question, Zach. To answer your question. What a good pitching coach is going to do is he's going to watch the film of the pitcher. And what he does is he goes back and he watches film of when they were successful and what they were doing. And then he compares that to what he's doing now. And he'll see where there's differences in what they're doing, and he'll correct the flaws and get them back into a place where they were successful. So, yes, a coach can make that much of a difference because pitchers, they may not be aware that they're doing things differently, but when you've got video proof of it. So now you've got Jeff Locke, who will be starting again tomorrow night. And I think when A.J. Burnett is healthy enough to start pitching again, Jeff Locke might be the odd man out in the rotation.
A.J. threw 30 pitches today.
He threw 35 fastballs today, pitched a simulated game. It was 2 innings. They played. He pitched the first inning, 5 minutes rest, pitched the second inning. His pitch limit was 30 to 35 pitches.
Gave up 5 runs.
And no. But anyhow, they're gonna.
Jim, where do you get these facts? You have like Tourette's disease, only it's sports Tourette's.
No, they're gonna give him another start, another simulated game, probably on Sunday.
This is actually good news. Contrary to the Sandbox boys, this is great news. He's lumped in because he's blocking you with all the laughing.
And according to A.J. Burnett, he said that his elbow has not felt this good in a long, long time.
That's good.
So that is.
What do you know about elbows? He might have the deer antler ointment. He might hook that with Ray.
They're too much, Chip. Thanks for that report. You're not going to get much sense out of
that. I'll get more out of it because I'm persistent. Then the next thing is if you look at the Pirates lineup, they got Josh Harrison back. They got Jordy Mercer back. We are deep 2 players each at every position. Right now, without question, I feel that the Pirates are fielding the best outfield in baseball. Gregory Polanco in right, Starling Marte in left, Andrew McCutchen. And you start those 3 as your first 3 in your lineup, it is producing results. Gregory Polanco last night, 4 for 5. McCutchen's driving and runs, having another MVP caliber season.
How's McCutchen having such a great year? His hair is still short.
It's growing back.
Yeah, the dreadlocks are now down to his collar.
You know, and the odd thing is that, you know, for as bad of a first baseman as Pedro Alvarez is, and the statistics bear this out.
Yes, they do.
He has more errors than any other first baseman in Major League Baseball. But the thing that's intriguing about Pedro Alvarez is that he has been on a pretty amazing streak for the last month hitting. He's hitting the ball, he's driving it, hitting home runs, driving in runs. He's actually hitting against left-handed pitchers. But, you know...
Just so he can do it through September. Well, that's all I want to see.
And things are going to continue. And one thing about the Pirates team right now, and you know, it's all 25 men that are getting it done for them. It doesn't matter who they put in the lineup. Tonight they've sat Pedro Alvarez, they sat Neil Walker, and they sat Young Ho Gong. And the people that they have replacing him: Josh Harrison at second, Michael Morse at first, and Aramis Ramirez at third.
Quality people.
Are quality people. Morse, since he got here in the trade, is batting .333. Aramis Ramirez of late is starting to hit the ball and driving.
And he will. They'll get comfortable. One of the better things to hear about this is they're not afraid to be down by 4, 5, 6 runs. They believe that they can win. Now, Sid Bream gave us a quote about the Atlanta Braves. He said they were a young team then. They really hadn't won much, but they believed they were in every game and could win the game. So there was no quit when they were down against the Pirates, and when they come back, his thought was, and the team's was, we'll win the game.
If I might interject, though.
Go ahead.
I mean, it has truly been a great season, Smoking Jim. I'm sure you've watched a lot of games, and you're up on it. But they have truly, you know, done better than I even expected. You know,
now, could you please put the butt in?
The thing of it is can we truly enjoy this, guys? Like, is it gonna, or the wheels gonna fall off?
If you aren't enjoying it now, you're not a fan.
If you're not enjoying what's going on right now, then you never wanted baseball to be in Pittsburgh, because I'm enjoying every moment of it. And you know what? It doesn't matter to me where they end up come the end of the season. I do feel that this team is going to win it all this year.
But they are playing quality baseball.
There's no question.
And that's what the enjoyment of baseball is. 16 games. You guys have to become schizophrenic. You win a game, you lose a game, you're losing the season.
Jim, what do you got?
162 makes a huge difference. Enjoy it while it's here, except for Smoking Jim. Yes, sir.
Only thing I can say is I believe in the curse. And
what curse?
And Sid Bream said his dad's favorite team was the Cardinals.
Hold it. We got to disclaim this. No, he's got such a problem. The curse was that they wouldn't win. They've had a winning record the last 2 years. It's been broken. For all you amateur bandwagon people, there isn't a curse on that.
No, you know, but right now this is the best of times for Pittsburgh baseball. Right. And this team is set up to win, not just this year, but it's set up to win moving forward.
Here comes my Cubbies.
But, you know, here's the thing, you know, because these guys, their eyes almost pop out of their head when I tell them that the most popular team in town now has 1.928 million fans through the turnstiles in 63 games. There's 18 home games left. The Pirates are probably going to break 2.5 million in paid attendance this year. That is an amazing.
But but it all goes to show, when you put a quality product on the field, if you build it, they will come. As a great movie.
Well, that's been our once
right, and you're absolutely right. And you don't want to know what? They didn't have to spend all their money to do it. You know, they had a system. They had a plan. And the plan, they've been working the plan, and it's working out very, very well. And you know, it just goes to show you, it's not who spends the most money that gets that has the best baseball teams.
Was part of the plan to have a 10-something TV rating?
Yes.
And lose to a scrimmage game, or a Hall of Fame game in 19-1?
Yes.
Do you think that matters to anybody other than you?
Well, you said how popular they were, but
they are.
They rather watch.
You know what? We're going to have some TV experts come in to show us the facts and everything, because I've heard numbers all over the place, and who cares?
I called the AP on that.
Hey, you know what?
And who else?
Now, I think
3 more.
I think it would be the perfect time to jump Levine over to Latrobe, and let's get on
it's
on
not
the beloved.
Perfect time, because I got to bring up about Charlie Batch, and I listened to him on the Fan, and he was talking about they have to keep 4 preseason games. Without it, he wouldn't have made the team.
Thanks, Brittle.
And it doesn't matter whether you're brittle or not.
Well, you saw.
Do you know there's only a small percentage of football players that are actually in the NFL? Can you tell me that percentage?
No.
Okay, well, there's only about 1,500 players. That's in the whole country.
No.
Well, that's pretty rare. So whether they're brittle or not, there's very few that make the NFL, just like the NBA, just like baseball. So to me, somebody's going to be the best, somebody's going to be the worst. And it happens.
Well, here's the question.
Before you say that, why did he say you need 4? I mean,
well,
why
because
he was a second-round draft choice. How could he not make the team?
The last few years, he wouldn't have had a 15-year career. He'd had a 12-year career.
You left that out.
Well, because I got interrupted.
Okay.
But, here's the thing. While we're on the NFL.
The best is always last.
Ever since the collective bargaining agreement has been signed, and now the players, they can't hit in minicamp, and they can't hit in the off season, and they can only have contact on so many days. And you look at the rash of injuries that are happening to higher profile players, and the fact that they are not able to hit and play the game the way it should be played, I think it's actually hurting the game more than if they would have continued along. They used to have two a day.
Yeah, well, they've done
training camp every day of the week.
They've scaled it back all the way to Pee Wee into high school. You know what I mean? Like it's all about the hits to the head. Yep.
Well, here's the studies, like Zach's alluding to. The reason they did it, and I've heard conversation about the CBA, this was a true compromise. Is it a perfect one? No. Like Charlie Batch was getting into, they had analytics, they had studies, and they showed they were trying, Players Union was trying to get something, the owners were trying to get something more. So they compromised on it. And there's nothing they can do about it now because it's signed. That's the thing, and sure, there's some correlation there, but who knows?
Did Edmund Nelson say anything? Here, this is all you guys
Where is
need
he? He sent me something in the mail.
Charlie Batch backstabbed him to get the job. But anyhow, this is all we need to know about whether you need preseason games or not. I agree with Chip that I wish it was still 6 preseason games. But always remember this: major college football begins their season without any scrimmages and without any preseason games, and that product has been going along pretty good for about 200 years.
No, not that long, but that's okay. Since
there's
the late,
injuries,
the late 1800s, buddy. Okay, that's not 200.
Twice as many players on the roster in college football than they do in the pros.
Well, it used to be you could sign up. Steelers used to bring 150 to camp. Now, like you said, now they can only bring 80 to camp.
I checked on the roster too, and our good buddy Ross Van Trone is still hanging strong on the roster.
Yeah.
So.
He'll make
they haven't really made
it.
any cuts yet. I mean, other than your buddy.
Well, the thing of it is, Smoking Jim. Hey. Jeez, that's just taking a beating tonight.
He's the only
But like Smoking Jim alluded to, in his is referring to them as meat. Is referring to them as meat. As the lower guys get hurt, they immediately get waived, and they immediately get cut. So like there's no, if you're not one of the elitists and you're not one of the true elite, they have no loyalty to you whatsoever. Like you're gone as soon as you get hurt. Sweezum might never get to kick again.
Dime a dozen. Kickers are a dime a dozen.
Yeah, they are.
You're right. He went from being a superstar to now he's a Jeff Reed.
Yeah, him and Jeff Reed should hang out.
I don't think so. I haven't heard him yet beat up any type of thing in the bathroom.
Compared to dogs, women, and all kinds of other stuff, beating up a paper towel thing at Sheets is minor on the scale to me. That's peanuts to me.
Yeah, but there's a problem if it was your business and he was destroying property. I'm sure you would have taken care of business.
So to get back to the Steelers, I know preseason games, they don't matter, they don't mean anything. Saw a little bit of life out of the Steelers defense, and there was 6 sacks by the Steelers defense this past weekend. I told Jim, I said, the defense was playing so well that Jarvis Jones stumbled his way into a sack.
How could that happen?
Hey, you know what? In Jarvis Jones' defense,
show you a blind squirrel.
In Jarvis Jones' defense, I just want to make light of this though. The transition from college football to pro football, it's it's light years, Smoking Jim. Like,
well, that's what they have the injured reserve for the first 2 years.
Lawrence Timmons came in, and he didn't set the team on fire. He looked like a deer in the headlights. He might not have been chasing guys as much as Jarvis Jones does, but I think we still got to let Jarvis Jones play this season.
Here's the difference between Timmons and Jarvis Jones. The difference is Timmons came in to Silverback playing right outside linebacker. You wasn't going to beat him out. The Pittsburgh Steelers misevaluated Silverback. That was the first year after getting rid of Joey Porter. They didn't realize how great Harrison was. He's going to go down in history as one of the greatest of all time. Jarvis Jones come in. There was nobody playing that position. They were giving it to him. And here's the only thing, and like you said,
being won.
He still can't win it. But here's the only thing that I seen when I evaluated Jarvis Jones. In Dick LeBeau's defense, although Dick LeBeau's no longer here, he just didn't have this foot speed to be productive at right outside linebacker. And he still hasn't learned any pass rush.
This just in, Steelers signed quarterback Michael Vick.
I'm busting out my Virginia Tech Vic jersey tonight.
I might have to go back on the KDK.
Of Homestead.
You signed him for $1 million.
Ooh, that's a good price. That's guaranteed too.
That's what they had to pay him.
What do you think?
That's what they have to pay him because of his years.
And your crystal ball tells you what? Will we keep full? What happens when Bruce gets healthy again? What happens?
Landry's gone.
Out. Or maybe Bruce
Landry's gone.
Practice squad?
No, Landry's gone altogether.
He plays golf too good. Yeah, Todd Haley likes him way
he's gone. He already showed he's gone. If he took every snap and did what he did, he's gone. So he'll be gone. Well, all I can say is
waste of a pick.
Unbelievable. The turn of events, but again, never count Smoking Jim out. No matter how outrageous his story is, he doesn't document it with anybody. He actually stays awake 24 hours a day for 3 days and comes up with this stuff.
This is what my thoughts are about Vic, and you know what I mean. There's a lot of reasons for a lot of people to hate Mike Vick, and I just personally think that, as my friend Jim refers to, he's brittle. He is very injury prone. He's very injury prone at this point in his career. And, he wasn't even good enough to be the backup to Geno Smith. What's he doing as a backup to Ben Roethlisberger?
He won a game against us last year. That's why he's here. The Steelers like winners.
Does that speak to how good of a quarterback he is or how bad our defense was last year?
I'll leave it up to the defense to defend themselves.
Yes.
In a game.
And Dick LeBeau looks lost on the sidelines down in Tennessee, man. I feel bad for him.
They won.
Yeah, they did.
Wow. If you look for trouble, you can find it anywhere, even on here with some of the outrageous statements. It's just crazy with some of the stuff that happens. I guess I won't be watching preseason at all with that new quarterback. I'll wait till the regular season now.
Well, who will get number 7, him or Ben?
I predict, like I said earlier,
I don't think they paid him enough money to buy it from Ben. You know what I mean?
He's going to get number 5. He's going to go back to probably Virginia Tech.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Ben's contract has a whole bunch more zeros at the end of it.
Well, and you know what? Hold on, real quickly though, as we wind down. Michael Vick shouldn't even play, so,
Good point.
We got number 7. So
Ben gets hurt every year, whether you guys know it, so it's a matter of whether he misses a game. He's older than he's ever been, so when he gets hurt this year, don't come crying. That's part of the sport. These guys will jump off the bandwagon as soon as somebody gets hurt. Hey, thanks for watching our show, putting up with all this stuff. Thanks again to everybody come out to Duke's Rib House and Grill. It was just a pleasure. These guys have their own opinions. That's why we're here. Same with me. I don't agree with most of what they say, but every once in a while. Thanks for watching. Be safe and stay Joey strong.